This is probably the best rut spot we've seen on the farm. It'd be nice to set this up for morning access, so from that direction.
Yeah.
Because you're coming around the backside of all the food. It's a really good spot for morning access, so it'd be nice to have two.
If we're gonna hunt it with the west, maybe it's better to put it up here. So your wind parallels that trail and you're not sitting right on it.
Put a ladder right in that dude.
Yep.
You want to put an S on that one, then I'll put an S. Would you rather be in the taller hickory or this tree with the back cover?
Back cover. Couple, 3, 4 farms that we've bought here kind of in cattle country, and like every one of them has got great spots because of the fences. It's pretty insane. We don't have that back home because a lot of our stuff's crop and there's no cows.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot. It's crazy. We try and build this stuff man-made. It's like, this one happened to stop in a really good spot for morning access, just off these plots and stuff. So it made sense, but some of them, it's just a blank canvas because the fences are all intact and stout. So like over there where we talked about, you put them exactly where you want them. It's crazy, really.
Especially on the other piece that we've got over here. It's got taller fences than this. It's got 6 and 8 foot fences in it, which is crazy.
So Lee just got here. Sounds like they got a mulching head running already. We're gonna meet up with him. Me and Toby just got done back there. And we're gonna come here, hone in on this little kill plot that we talked about last time we were here and start getting this stuff cleared out. And then me and Toby and Lee are probably gonna go over and start laying out this 140 acre farm next door.
So the last time we were here, the ground behind it there, we didn't own yet. But since all that, we picked that up. It's gonna be a pretty crucial piece of the puzzle over here. We were gonna put a tree stand in that cedar, but Lee just ate it.
We have the ability to have big crop out here. So in my opinion, it kind of changes some of the dynamics of what we first talked about on this place.
Yeah, because before that was gonna be nothing but pasture with cows in it. Now, that's significant acreage. Like I think we could have 50 acres of crop on there. Goes all back in these coves, gives us different access options, you know, can keep us from making this area so big, because now we have that to pull from, the power of that to pull from as well, so we can be a little bit more strategic with this area in conjunction to the crop. It just can give us a little more access options too, as far as like Bobby said, you know, in the evening you could loop way out and around and come in. But then when there's deer in the crop and you're trying to get out of here, you can loop through the low spot that Lee's clearing right now.
And before we were gonna have the plot tucked back in a little bit, a little kill plot, but now we can put a hole in the fence and have a transition from green to grain right through that gap in the fence and have perfect ingress in the field and egress out.
I'm super pumped about this farm. I mean, every one that you get like this and you see, there's hardly any food around here. This is all cattle country. And so we'll have this whole thing and crops and food. It's gonna be amazing what this place does. It's like, you almost hate to sell it. I guess when we get the feeders out here and start getting these food plots in, depends on what's on here, I may be buying it myself, so. But it just looks great. But then of course, everything's gonna look great because we wouldn't buy it if it doesn't, so. Just move out of the way here and let Ed get started, and then we'll have this thing cleared out in no time. Yeah, just thinking some of these, like this cedar that's back here, we'll pop this one out too, because if you're in that stand, it'd be kind of nice to be able to look down this edge. If it's too much sticking out, you won't be able to see if you're hunting in the morning. It's fun watching this stuff, especially when you hit one of those trees and it just throws the stuff like 200 yards. You got stuff laying all over the place. It's cool to see how it, you gotta feel like they even got these big trees. If you took a dozer even pushing these over, you'd have all these big piles off to the side that just don't look good. This, it just basically takes a tree and turns it into shrapnel, these little pieces all over. Well, you can go right through and plant this right after. You know, it cuts it up into such small pieces if you go over it again. Literally, when I first started, I had an old 40-20 and a lawnmower, basically. Just to do one field like this would literally take me the season to clear this all out and get it all disced up and get it planted. Now with other Vale equipment stuff, I can come in here and mulch up. Literally half an hour, we'd have this whole thing done. You come in here with a rototiller, like a 12-foot rototiller. If you wanted to, you could make this look like a pool table, black dirt, by this afternoon. Some of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the last 30 years of doing this stuff is you almost never have enough food. Even, we were just sitting here discussing, well, we put grass in this, should we, leave some of this, because now that we have all that for food and stuff, and it's really not, that big a farm. It's just like 220 acres here now with both of them together, but still, I got our farms like at home where I've got so many food plots, like 20-acre food plots and 17-acre food plots, and they are just totally wiped out right now. We're just getting into turkey season here and trying to find anything that has even a kernel of corn or a bean or anything in it. There's nothing. Where all those turkeys are even stocked in there in December and January, but by the time we start getting to January and February, it's gone. So many times I think it's maybe too much, and just making me rethink this, like we're talking about here. It's like there's never enough food, and the thing is, the more you have, the more deer you get, but start generating more and more deer coming into your place. But that just gives you more samples to choose from of, what it's like 1 in a million to get a deer that's going to go to 200. And the more samples you get in there, the better odds you have. So our strategy at home is basically, it's nice to have a big piece, and that's great if you can do it. But just to have like a 200 and a 300 and a 150 and an 80 and like, different areas, you're going to pull, if you have all that much food on those places, you're going to pull so many deer off of other areas around in there. You have a bigger sample.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be another visually stimulating one. There was 2 points that kind of come together here, and the canvas we were dealt, there was quite a few, marketable trees on that south-facing side, and there's a second point, and taking those trees is also going to let the light shoot across to the next point. You know what I mean? So
right.
it was laid out perfectly for this, and then there's this tree right here that's just begging for it.
Perfect stand tree right there, yeah. Cut a hole in this fence. Once this is all done, you can hear the skid steer up there, Ed, working on that. Food plot going that way into there. This one should be a food plot going this way into here.
With this setup, you can come around in the evening, hunt it, and then instead of going back through all the fields.
I think that tree on any west wind, really. I mean, it'd be west, northwest, even if it had a little bit of south in it, if it was a deer you wanted, you'd have them, you'd kill them before you ever got windy, and anything else wouldn't catch you till way back there. So I think I would take the fence out on this side. And right here.
Put a treacle here too, because all this scent's gonna be pounding right through here, and then
right.
Hammering.
They just right in between these two, It's something, has to be a little bit bigger spot, I guess.
Now you remember, I like it close.
That's close, it's 30 yards. Okay, well, we can take it off here.
I was just kidding.
The third farm that we looked at last time, which was 220 acres, we already had that one already sold. Of course, we're going to follow through and keep the plant up, but now he's going to be involved in that plant. We've been able to get this 140 that connects onto this 80 and actually touches the 160 as well. So kind of put this whole piece together. So it really is changing our strategy a little bit. We're still doing all the things that we were on these, but now it opens up a whole another can of worms of what we can do when we have all of this for food plots as well. So that's what we've been doing today, is getting these food plots in here, working on timber stuff, and putting a new plan together on this. So when you buy a farm from us, everything that you can possibly really do is already done. All you got to do is get in that stand and hunt. Yeah. I mean, you probably want to have a tractor or a small tractor with a little drill or something to keep up with, spraying and, putting into your food plots and stuff like that. But really the big work is going to be done, like putting in all these food plots, dozer work, road systems, everything's going to be done. You're not going to have to do that. That's one advantage of somebody from out of state buys one and says, well, geez, I can bring a tractor. I got a 4020 and a 7,000 four-row planter, but I don't have much else. It's like, hey, you can do that here. All the other work is going to be done.
Yep, and a lot of our farms, they sell pre-market, and we found that a lot of people, that's the dream. It's not just to have a farm, but it's also to develop it and stuff. But like you said, a lot of people don't have the means or some of the knowledge or whatever. So as always, these farms are for sale right now. We sold the one already, and we're going to continue that project with the guy. But you can get involved in these projects right now, and then we can start kind of tailoring them. We'll set them up for overall deer hunting. But let's say you're only late muzzleloader hunting because you're out of state. Well, if you got in right now, we could tailor this plan to you right now,
late season
just for late season.
If you were to jump in on buying one of these farms pre-market, I mean, you could be out here, hanging out, put your input in,
right,
tweaking whatever we say, and we welcome that. So I mean, that's a very real possibility.
Yeah, the difference between Bobby and I, we were just picked out a tree stand location over there and where we're gonna cut the hole in the fence. I like stuff 30 to 40. I like it a little bit farther. I don't like deer being super close to see movement. And Bobby's like, move that 3 sections closer here. I like a closer shot.
Lee likes them far away because he likes the slow-mo video shot of that arrow flying like an hour before it hits a deer. That's why. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you bought this, then you could be the one deciding where you want
Do you
what
like the
section
15
you want out of.
yarders?